Turn that off. Hold on. Turn it back on. Don't worry, y'all. We live, so this how it go down sometimes. All right. So like I said, it's in the Ten Commandments. Now this time, thanks for subscribing. So that we can actually go live. You know what I'm saying? Because we needed 50 subscribers so we can go live, and now we quadrupled that. Thank you for we got to 200. All right. So hold on. Let's make sure our joint working because I'm not getting no sound right now. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Hold up. By the way, if y'all know somebody that want to do some camera work, we got that. We got that. Check. There you go. Check. Check. All right, boom. So we're talking about the Sabbath for those who just tune in. All right, what is the Sabbath? First, let's start there. What even is the Sabbath? The Sabbath is the seventh day. It's the day that God rested. If you know anything about the creation, we know that 6 days God created the heavens and the earth. He created man. On the seventh day, he rested. Okay? Not only did he rest, he told us that we should do the same thing. We should rest. Now, if you're here, that means, and you see any of my videos, you know we came here and we're gonna have some deep things going. All right. So it's gonna be some deep things that y'all don't understand, that y'all probably never heard from nowhere. You understand what I'm saying? But it's all right. If y'all open the script and read a book, y'all find that joint out. And here's the other thing. We're gonna go on a tangent right quick because we gotta lay the groundwork before we get into the Sabbath. What's going on? Because a lot of y'all think that, oh, I can just read the Bible and I got everything. But that's cap. That's like the straight biggest cap that I ever seen. Like, and it's really the worst because people will be like, if it's not in the Bible, I'm not hearing it. Here's the problem with that. To say if it's not in the Bible, I'm not hearing it. That's like saying that God is limited to whatever, however many 66 books, pages, however many, in the Bible. You can't limit God to one book. Like y'all wildin'. Okay, so we're gonna start there. Okay. And then if God's limited to the Bible, then what about all the people before the Bible even came out? You understand what I'm saying? It's what's called the spirit. If you're not tapped into the spirit, like you're not gonna get the things that's outside of what's in the Bible, what's in the script. You understand what's already been said. It's something called the mysteries of God. So we're gonna break down the Sabbath. All right. The Sabbath right here. And a lot of these is already in there. You understand? You just need to have ears to hear. So those who have ears to hear, listen up. Shout out Street Hymns. So boom. The Sabbath is the seventh day. And you're supposed to rest. Now today, I'm gonna pull out the script on y'all. I don't like pulling out the script because that's the sword. The letter kill it, right? And I'm not trying to be out here cutting nobody down. I just want y'all to see and understand. Okay. But I gotta pull out the script because the last time I upload a video. You got people in the comments talking about this joint actually is funny though. Boys in the comments talking about, oh, that's just a lazy man's way to figure out how to not work or some stupidness, right? And a lot of people raging in the comments about the Sabbath. Here's the thing, bro. Because a lot of y'all be like, oh, that's in the Old Testament. I don't gotta do it, this and that. That's joint stupid. Because with that logic, I could just go around killing people. Because killing is in the Old Testament, in the Ten Commandments. Thou shalt not kill. I can go around lying. I could go around stealing. You understand? I could go around doing all of these things because it's in the Old Commandment. That don't apply no more. Y'all gotta hear how some of y'all sound. Not everybody, but some people sound like y'all need to go back to school. So instead of getting on your heads, we're just gonna get into it. Okay? Because first of all, why is the Sabbath important? Not only just because God said it, right? It's a command, which means you gotta do it. That's not the only reason. Why did he say it? You understand what I'm saying? Why did he do it before he said it? Because God rested before he told us to rest, which means the Sabbath was celebrated in heaven before it was celebrated on earth. Okay, so that's the first thing y'all need to get into your head. Some of y'all might miss that. Some of y'all might not understand. This is one of the deep things that if you pick it up, you pick it up. If you don't, you don't miss it. You go back, watch it again. The Sabbath was celebrated in heaven before it was celebrated on earth. And yes, it's celebration. It's a celebration. The Sabbath days are celebrations. Y'all gotta stop looking at it as like it's like a chore, like it's like a checklist item, like type joint. Like for instance, if and I'm about to hit y'all with a couple examples right now. Here's one that I like to use is like the NFL, right? If you're American, you watch football. Football as in like American football, right? And a Super Bowl type joint. In America, Super Bowl is like a big thing. That's like super American thing to do, right? So you like go to your friend's house, barbecue. You do the Super Bowl a certain way. You get the snacks, the Tostitos, all this type of thing, right? That's how you celebrate the Super Bowl, right? You sit down with friends, you chill, you have a good time. Like it's usually on Sunday, so you ain't gotta work. Like you got the whole family, like type joint, right? So then let's say you own the rights to the Super Bowl, to celebrate the Super Bowl. And people can only celebrate it if you tell them to celebrate it. So you go to a different country, they don't got Super Bowl. They don't got American football, right? And you go, yo, y'all can celebrate the Super Bowl. Like I'm giving you permission, like as an honorary American, like and because they came to your house and they seen how y'all was doing it, right? So you like, all right, so that's all you got to do, right? And you tell them this is how you celebrate the Super Bowl, and then they like, all right, bet. And then the year come around and they about to celebrate Super Bowl, but they got out like Barbies and like I don't know, like some weird stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff that you don't pull out on the Super Bowl type, right? And so you're like, bruh, that's not how you celebrate Super Bowl. Like, what are you doing? Like, instead of barbecuing, they like at a freaking museum or something weird. Like, they like, oh, we celebrate the Super Bowl, like, and they like whispering, like, and then you like, nah, you revoke the rights, like, nah, you can't celebrate the Super Bowl no more, bro. Like, you messing it up. Unbeknownst to some, to a lot, to most people, that's how the Sabbath is. Because, spoiler alert, the Sabbath is not for everybody. Everybody cannot celebrate the Sabbath. Boy, it's gonna blow some of y'all minds. Y'all don't even understand. Some of y'all is not allowed to celebrate the Sabbath. That's a whole nother thing. But if you seek, you shall find. So like I'm not finna spoil everything for y'all. Like you gotta go in this, you gotta go read that. You understand? So Sabbath, right? We're supposed to celebrate it. It was celebrated in heaven before it came to earth. Okay. So now that it's on earth, what is the point? Like, why do we need to celebrate? Like, okay, good, okay, whoop de doo. It was up there, now it's down here, okay. But what if I just, I don't really got time. I gotta work. Like, I don't got no money. Like, I need to make more money. Like, I'm trying to work 7 days a week. I'm trying to grind. Like that's what some of y'all be on, right? And that's a mistake because, like I said, we're gonna break open the script. So let's go ahead and do that. This might be a, y'all might have to get y'all seatbelts for this one. So right now, I'm pulling up the script. It say, he said to them, "This is what the Lord commanded. Tomorrow is to be a day of Sabbath rest, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. So bake what you want to bake and boil what you want to boil. Save whatever is left and keep it till morning." So basically what he's talking about right here is when you do the Sabbath, right, you gotta, it's on Saturday, right? So that means the day before, aka Friday, you gotta get double the amount of food because the Sabbath is a day where you're not, first of all, you're not supposed to do no work. Okay. You're not supposed to do no work. Okay. And so what is work? Right? And I'm just gonna break it down simple. Work is anything that increases value. So if it's increasing your value, it's work. Okay. If you're going to work, you're making money, you're increasing value, you're working. You shouldn't be doing it. If you're going, because there's a lot of things you're supposed to do and not do. So we're just gonna list them out. Okay. Number one, don't work. Number two, don't buy nothing. Don't sell nothing. Number three, don't go out. Like literally, don't go nowhere. You understand what I'm saying? Number four, you can't light no fires for multiple reasons. Number one, lighting the fire is considered work. Number two, that's the presence of God. So you calling God down when He's supposed to be resting, everybody in heaven resting, but you out here like, yo, I need help. You know what I'm saying? Like you, like God is God. He gonna do what he everywhere at the same time. Like it ain't no big deal. But if He told you not to work, but you over here stressing and crying and lighting fires, bringing His presence down, like yo, I need help. But He like, what you need help for? You supposed to be chilling, like you know what I'm saying? Like y'all wildin'. So them is some of the stuff that you're supposed to do, or AKA, or not supposed to do. All right, so we're gonna hit another script right now. I'm gonna try to get this as effectively, as efficiently as possible because it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot, but a lot is relative. So stick with it. We're gonna get it cracking because a lot is less than what it would cost you if you are not observing the Sabbath. Okay, which a lot of y'all already have firsthand. And if you don't understand, I'm gonna tell you right now. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and stop here and give a disclaimer, like I did on the last video. If you want to stay in the matrix, click off right now. Because once you understand, once you see, once I tell you these things and you understand, you know you don't have no excuse. Okay. Now, just because you click off and you go live in the matrix doesn't mean that doesn't give you an excuse. Okay. You will still be like accountable for what you do. Okay. You'll be accountable for the fact that you clicked off. But at the end of the day, if you know, you especially don't have no excuse. So let's keep going. Bear in mind that the Lord has given you the Sabbath. That is why on the sixth day, He gave you bread for 2 days. Okay? Everyone is to stay where they are. On the seventh day, no one is to go out. So I'm jumping around here, but like I said, y'all can look at the script for yourself. I'm pulling out key important parts so we not just here all day. Okay. First of all, He gives you bread. This is one of the biggest problems with some of y'all. A lot of people feel like you getting your own bread. You doing your own work, buying your own food. No, bro, you don't already done that stuff. He, the birds in the sky, the fish in the sea, they don't work, but they eat every day. So the provider is not the work. The provider is the one that created the work to begin with, that created the provisions for you to have. Like, you have yet to starve to death. Even when you didn't work and you thought you didn't have enough, like, if you ever was like hungry and you ain't know how you was gonna eat just because whatever reason, right? And it don't got to be because you're poor, because everybody ain't poor, but you can still be hungry, and then somehow you got food. You understand? You're not the one providing for yourself. Y'all gotta understand that. So right off the bat, he provides. So you can't. Basically, my point is, you can't make no excuse to be like, "Oh, how am I get 2 days worth of food and I can barely feed myself today?" He provides you with 2 days worth of food so that you don't have to do nothing on the seventh day. So don't worry about that. Don't trip about that. Like today has problems of its own. Don't worry about tomorrow. What we'll eat, what we'll drink, what we'll wear. Like Jesus said that himself, like straight off the bat. You understand? So let's keep going. Also, everyone's to stay where they are on the seventh day. No one is to go out. Now I gotta talk about this real quick because this joint hit me. Like for real. Like this actually hit me because I was like, what you mean we don't go out? To me that didn't make sense. Like what is going out? Right? Because a lot of people like to play the boundaries, like to play the loopholes, like to try to you know what I'm saying? So number one, working is anything that creates value. Number two, going out, right, is out of your domain. Okay. So if you are rich and you have a whole mountain to yourself, you can go a lot more places than somebody that only got the one little room in their little apartment, like type joint. You understand? Like, or somebody that got the house, one house, like a small house, like a regular, you know, like you could go to your front yard, backyard, this and that. But if you got a whole complex, you could go outside, you could go to the ranch, you could go up the mountain, down the mountain, because you own all of that. You're not actually going out. Okay, I hope y'all understand that. But this is what tripped me up, right? I'm like, Jesus was a kid, right? And this gonna be a whole nother deep thing, right? We deep inception always. I might change my name title, channel name to that low key. Um, Jesus, this man, it became Sabbath. Watch this. My guy was at the temple, right? So technically he went out, right? He wasn't at home. What was he doing? But watch this. Y'all gotta think, bro. He was gone because you're supposed to stay in your house all day the whole Sabbath, right? Don't go out. That's and if y'all don't know what a day is, it's not the day how they made it today. It's not at 12 a.m. It's the next day. No, it's the evening, aka sunset. When the sun go down, that's the next day. So stop playing games. So my guy was out at the temple. He stayed at the temple for so long that his parents was like, "Where's our son at?" Like my guy's like 9 years old. Like they're like, "Where's this man at?" They couldn't find him nowhere for days. They pull up. My guy's at the temple on the Sabbath teaching the big homies. They're like, "Bro, what are you doing? You supposed to be in a house." They like, and watch this. This is where he got him. He like, and I didn't get this for a long time. He said, "Didn't you know I was gonna be in my father's house? Why you tripping? Like, y'all not hearing me. Didn't you know I would be in my father's house? It's the Sabbath, bro. That's his father's house. He where he's supposed to be at. He was in there doing what he's supposed to do. But because he on earth and he gotta also honor his father and mother, they told him don't go out. They didn't have an understanding. You see what I'm saying? They still was taking the blue pill. They was still was in the matrix. They didn't understand. So they were not held accountable for keeping him away from his duties. Okay, because he's still a kid. He still got to live under them. So he still got to do what they tell him to do. So he was still doing what they told him to do, even though it was technically was wrong, right? But he was not considered to be doing wrong because he's honoring his parents, which is above him. That's authority over him. Okay, y'all gotta understand these types of things, bro, because it's gonna hit different. All right. So don't go out. Let's keep going. Let's keep it moving. We're gonna keep rolling. What's the next one? Next one, next one. All right. Commandment. Like I said, it's in the Ten Commandments. A commandment is not a suggestion, it's a command. Look up what command means. It means do this joint, period. All right. Remember the Sabbath by keeping it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But on the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, neither you nor your son or daughter, nor your male or female servants, nor your animals, nor any foreigner residing in your towns. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth. My guy made the whole universe, bro. In 6 days, like he doing way more work than you think you doing. Talking about you grinding, stop with this. You understand? But he rested on the seventh day. He made a whole universe, the whole galaxy, the whole everything, and still rested on the seventh day. Therefore, the Lord blessed the Sabbath and made it holy. I'm gonna let that sit for y'all for a minute because y'all gotta understand, like, it's not just you. Whoever you're responsible for, you're responsible for them not working on the Sabbath as well. So don't be like, oh, I'm gonna observe the Sabbath, but I'm gonna hire freaking Miguel to cut my grass on Saturday. Like, bruh, no. Like, or if Miguel pull up talking about he finna cut grass on Saturday, be like, look, this is my house, bro. Like, ain't nobody working over here. So you gotta pull up a different day. Like, don't try to come over here, like, you know what I'm saying, desecrating the Sabbath because you wanna work on, like, you know what I'm saying? You're responsible for that. And if Miguel wanna keep coming around Saturday, you gonna have to get another gardener, like, off rip. So this is how deep it is. This how much y'all gotta understand. Like, it's not a game out here. It's not just you. Okay. Now we finna get to the good stuff right here because a lot of people still can't see the benefit, can't see the ROI, right? The return on investment, right? A lot of people still feel like they're losing out by not going out, not shopping, not, you understand? Because you can't buy or sell. You can't go out, which means you're not going to the movies. You're not going to the mall. I mean, people, I don't know if people still go to malls in freaking 2026, but you're not finna go to Disneyland. You understand? And some people might feel like, dang, I can't have fun. Like I only get 2 days off, 2 days off type joint. And I really wanted to do this. Like we're gonna get into it, but y'all gotta watch. So let's keep going. Then the Lord said to Moses, say to the Israelites. Now this is a whole nother thing. I'm not gonna get into this, but the Israelites, they're gonna understand. That's God's people. Okay. And the thing about God's people, you could be grafted in and kicked out. Just because it say Israelite don't mean it's limited to one country. Like if I'm an American and I go to freaking France, I don't suddenly become French or non-American. Okay. So y'all gotta understand if y'all kingdom citizens, it doesn't matter if the script say Israelites. It's talking about you. Okay. So that's just the simple fact of the matter. Like we're not gonna go too deep, but that's a whole other thing, right? By itself. So you must observe my Sabbaths. This will be a sign between me and you and for the generations to come. So this is what I'm saying, bro. Generations. Whenever it's talking about generations, it don't stop, bro. It's not what y'all be talking about. Oh, it's the freaking uh Old Testament. I don't gotta do it. Observe the Sabbath. So you may know that I am Lord who makes you holy. That's a whole nother thing right there. Observe the Sabbath because it is holy to you. Anyone who desecrates it is to be put to death. Bro, we're going to come back to that. Those who do any work on that day must be cut off from their people. This is what a lot of y'all missing. This is the reason why a lot of y'all can't figure out why you're not blessed. We're going to keep going. Cut off from their people. For 6 days, work is to be done. 6 days. 6 days, bruh. I'm telling you, look, this joint hitting back to back to back to back. We're gonna come back to it, but 6 days. A lot of y'all think, oh, I'm gonna work 9 to 5, 5 days a week. Chill on Saturday and Sunday. You done messed up. Already you done messed up. You done already messed up. This is why a lot of people is subject to things like inflation, to things like gas prices, to things like the economy. Like this is all like made up stuff. Like if you're a kingdom citizen, you understand? And I'm using this word I haven't broken in that word or phrase down in this video or the previous video yet, but we will. If you are a child of the Most High, if you are a royal priesthood, okay, these things should not have an effect on you. These things is just things that's happening. You shouldn't be like, all gas prices going up, all inflation, I can't afford. If you can't afford, or if you complain about any one of these things, then you already done messed up. And I guarantee you, this is how much I know because, like I said, God cannot lie. And we're gonna get into it, but this is how I know for a fact you're not observing these. If you're living in that way, if you say any of them words and phrases, gas prices too high, inflation, crazy, economy, if you mention any of that in any of your conversations, I already know you done messed up. So let's keep going. Whoever does any work on a Sabbath day is to be put to death. Okay? Because like I said, whoever do work on a day must be cut off from their people. For 6 days work is to be done, but the seventh day is a day of Sabbath rest, holy to the Lord. Whoever does any work on the Sabbath day is to be put to death. Now that said it twice. I read it 3 times, but it said it twice in the same script. That's why I'm saying we're gonna come back to it. The Israelites are to observe the Sabbath. Israelites means you, if you're a child of the Most High God, that's chosen. Celebrating it for generations to come as a lasting covenant. Covenant means agreement. Generations to come, that's forever, lasting, forever lasting. Like it don't get no more simpler than that. If you in third grade, you can understand it. It's forever, bro. Stop playing around. It will be a sign between me and the Israelites forever. But it say right there, forever. I'm sorry, I'll be getting hyped because this is one of the worst things that's keeping majority of people down. It literally tells you forever. And this is why I had to bring out the script. I don't like bringing out the script, but I gotta bring out the script because, and you know, the script is cutting deep when you hearing it and you like, dang, it's talking about me. Like I just gave you a jab right there. We cutting it open, right? And it might not really feel that good. You might feel now if you got ears to hear, you're gonna be like, okay, now I can do better, right? But you had to get cut in order to get better. Like you had to learn the hard way through the video, which honestly is the easy way. But anyways, it will be a sign between me and the Israelites forever. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. Is that what it says? Yeah. When the Lord finished speaking to Moses on Mount Sinai, he gave him the 2 tablets of the covenant law, aka 10 Commandments, the tablets of stone inscribed by the finger of God himself. All right. So let's go back because this joint say whoever desecrate the Sabbath will be put to death. A lot of people, just like Adam and Eve, will get deceived and think what the serpent say, oh, you won't die. You won't die. Huh. You're good. That's a deception. Because watch this. We're gonna go back to Adam and Eve real quick. Because Adam and Eve, everybody know the story. You had a tree. They weren't supposed to eat from the one tree. The one tree. Adversary pull up talking about, yo, did he really say you can't eat? Like, she was like, no. He said we couldn't eat from this one, or we'll die, surely die. On this day, we'll surely die. The adversary talking about you won't die, and so she like, oh, bet, let me try it. Bit that joint. She like, Now she was too distracted, right? They never came back to address them dying, right? But she, because as soon as she ate, she realized something else. Dang, we don't have no clothes on, right? But the people reading might be like, well, they didn't die. So was he right or was he wrong? But what y'all don't know, for y'all, those of y'all that don't study, is that 1,000 years is like a day to the Lord, and a day is like 1,000 years. If you know how old freaking Adam and Eve lived to, it was like 995 years old. It was like 5 years short of 1,000, because God cannot lie. I gotta say this in every video: God cannot lie. Like He said, on this day you will surely die. 1,000 years is like a day to the Lord, and 1,000 years is like a day. A day is like 1,000 years, and they died before 1,000 years, which means they died in the same day that they ate the fruit thereof. So stop playing with me. Let's keep going, bro. We got a little bit ways to go. Oh, where are we at? How far are we at? We got a little bit of ways to go. But this is why I wanted to go live, right? Because these videos be a little bit longer, gang. So Moses assembled the whole Israelite community and said to them, these are the things that the Lord commanded you to do. For 6 days work is to be done, but the Sabbath day shall be your holy day, a day of Sabbath rest to the Lord. Whoever does any work on this day is to be put to death. Do not light a fire in any of your dwellings on the Sabbath day. And I already explained to you why, but I had to read it so you see it for yourself. Okay? And you got to understand, if something like this is just in the script so many times, like it's probably important. Like if my guy keeps bringing it up over and over, like it's probably something you should be taking heed to. Let's keep going. Let's go to this one. There are 6 days when you may work. Now this tells you about the holy days. This is just a description. 6 days where you may work, but the seventh day is a day of Sabbath rest, a day of sacred assembly. You are not to do any work. Wherever you live, it is a Sabbath to the Lord. Wherever you live, bro. Wherever you live, it don't matter. Wherever you live, okay. Sacred assemblies. Now I gotta break this down because some people don't understand. What does that mean? What is a sacred assembly? Okay, a sacred. First of all, think about anything that you consider sacred, right? Sacred is like important, like to the point where it's like it's not necessarily about the value, like as far as like monetary or anything like that, but it's sacred, like it's important to you. So I'll just give the easiest example because everybody has one. It's a birthday, right? A lot of people like literally treat their birthdays like they're sacred. Like I'm not gonna comment on it, but this is how people feel. They're like, if my birthday go by and I don't do what I want, I'm upset. If my birthday go by and I don't get a present or like I don't do something like I had a bad birthday, like it's going wrong, like type of. You understand? That would be considered something sacred. Like it's not that your birthday has an intrinsic value. It's you value it to a level that causes it to be sacred. And you could cause other people to feel that your birthday is sacred, right? So like if you celebrate other people's birthday, right? So like if you celebrate your parents' birthday or your brother or sister or your wife or whatever, okay? It's sacred. Okay? So a sacred assembly is like you get together, just like a birthday, right? You have a party, you're having a party. Like but it's not like it's not it's not an assembly. It's not like it's not any type of party, right? You can't just have the party and then everybody is like watching the Super Bowl type joint. Like it's not the same as your birthday party. Nobody's paying attention to you, so it's not sacred. You see what I'm saying? A sacred assembly means if you're observing the Sabbath, don't just get together on the Sabbath and then do some wild and like watching some murder freaking horror videos or something stupid. It's not sacred no more. You jacking it up. Okay? That's what it means. And okay, the reason. Observe the Sabbath day. We're gonna keep going. By keeping it holy, as the Lord, I think we read this already. No, we did. Has commanded you 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, neither you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male or female servant, nor your foreigner residing in your town, so that your male and female servants may rest as you do. Remember, you were slaves in Egypt, and that the Lord your God brought you out of there with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm. Therefore, the Lord your God has commanded you to observe the Sabbath day. He did something for you, you do something for him. It's that simple. And it's not a suggestion. Again, command it, gang. Command it. Let's keep going. Now we're about to get down to the nitty gritty. We're about to get down to the criteria, the intricate details. Because okay, now you're gonna got to this far in the video and you say, okay, I'm gonna observe the Sabbath now. Now you gotta make sure that you're doing it right. So how do we make sure and understand that we're doing the Sabbath the right way? And I'm gonna tell y'all, if this video is helping you in any way, if you're being enlightened, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. If you know somebody that need to observe the Sabbath, but they don't, because we haven't gotten to the rewards yet. We haven't gotten to the rewards nor the consequences for not observing the Sabbath. So stay tuned, stick around, so you can understand why you feel burnt out, why you're not entering into God's place of rest, why you're not blessed. Stick around and we will dispel all the lies. We're going to get you to the place where God wants you to be. Like, comment, subscribe, share. And if you want more content, I got a link in the description in Cycle Breaker Academy where I break down everything because I cannot break down everything. Okay, it's going to take too long. So click the link in the description, sign up for Cycle Breaker Academy, be free today because when Christ says free is free indeed. Let's go, let's get into it. Let's keep going. You know, I had to plug the ads. Cool. We don't got ads share yet. We only have 200 subscribers. So subscribe so we can get to 500 so we can have we can get monetized. Okay. If you keep your feet from breaking the Sabbath and doing as you please on my holy day, if you call the Sabbath a delight and the Lord's holy day honorable, if you honor it by not going your own way and not doing as you please, speaking idle words, I had to emphasize that, then you will find joy in the Lord, and I will cause you to ride in triumph on the heights of the land and to feast on the inheritance of your father Jacob. For the mouth of the Lord has spoken. Now, in case anybody's wondering, I'm going out of NLT right now. Okay, this is not the version that I usually use, but I know this is a version that people can understand. Okay, we got to make sure everybody understands. So that's what we're using. NLT, New Living Translation. Now, whenever you see where the mouth of the Lord has spoken, it's probably serious. That's pro tip. All right, pro tip. Anything that says, and the Lord said, anything that says, the mouth of the Lord has spoken. Like, that's like period, end of sentence. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like period with a T on it. That's God's version of period with a T, period. You understand? And the mouth of the Lord has spoken, period. It ain't no other if, ands, or buts. Like, we got to emphasize that right now. So let's break down, what do this mean? If you keep your feet from breaking the Sabbath, okay, you keep your feet from breaking the Sabbath. Okay, can't nobody make you work on the Sabbath. Okay, that's why he's just saying it like this. That's why it's being addressed in this way. Okay, if you decide not to go out, not to go to work, not to allow other people to control you, talking about you got to do this, you got to do that. Okay, because the Lord will judge all things. You keep your feet from breaking the Sabbath and doing as you please. Now, when it says as you please, right? We all have a soul. We all have desires. We all have the things that we want to do. For instance, if I want to go drive my McLaren on a freaking Autobahn, but it just happened to be Saturday, that's something that I want to do. That's something that my soul wants to do. But I understand that it's the Sabbath. So I'm not doing as I please. It's not saying that the Sabbath is not a pleasing. Like I want to celebrate the Sabbath. The Sabbath is a good thing. Like that joint is like good. You understand? So y'all gotta understand the difference between what it's saying and what it's not saying. If you call the Sabbath a delight, so that's the very next line right there. If you're not out here like I don't want to point no fingers, but this is what the old school cats was doing, right? They was talking about like they was observing the Sabbath, but they felt like it was a burden, right? I don't get to go drive my McLaren, so like, dang, I gotta freaking celebrate the Sabbath, bro. Like I can't go out, like, I gotta celebrate Sabbath, like you know what I'm saying? Like trying to make it seem like it's a bad thing. We don't want that. We don't want y'all to be doing that. So call the Sabbath a delight and the Lord's Day honorable. This is self-explanatory. If you honor it by not going your own way, right? Not, oh, I'm gonna trade on this day because I know I'm gonna make 40K, even though the trades don't go on Saturdays. Actually, they do if you're doing forex. But I'm gonna trade on this day because the market looking good. Like I can be up 4K, 40K right now, but you working, right? If you honor it by not going your own way and not doing as you please or speaking idle words. You know, I had to emphasize this because a lot of people will skip over this. A lot of people struggle with this and they don't even know. It's like subconscious. But there's a point where it becomes ingrained in your brain. A lot of people love talking. They call it small talk, right? You shouldn't be small talking. If you're talking for no reason, like what are we? You done already done messed up. Speaking idle words, speaking about nothing, talking about nothing that's doing nothing for nobody. Okay. Now you shouldn't be talking about business, right? But you shouldn't be speaking idly. You're better off not saying anything at all on the Sabbath than speaking idle words. Okay. Like there's not much more way I can put this to y'all. Like you should understand and know what an idle word is. And if you don't, let's give an example. Let's give an example. I'm talking about some celebrities. Oh, this celebrity did that. This celebrity did that. Like, why? What is that doing for you? That's idle words. Okay. Like, there's so many examples I can give, but we're not going to do that. Then you'll find joy in the Lord, and I will cause you. Now, here comes the promises, right? Because remember, God cannot lie, which means if you do all of these things, you can expect God to do the next thing that He said He's going to do, which is you will find joy. If you don't have joy, this is the easiest way to get it right off the rip. You don't have joy, observe the Sabbath. Stop playing around. You will find joy. You will find your joy in the Lord. And I will cause you to ride in triumph on the heights of the land. If you feel low, observe the Sabbath. You're going to be high on the heights of the land. And to feast on the inheritance of your father Jacob. If you don't have no inheritance, if your parents died, they didn't give you nothing, observe the Sabbath. You will feast on the inheritance of your father Jacob. Because the Lord, the mouth of the Lord has spoken. Now, that's all we got time for today. We ain't go through everything. There's a lot more to go through. But like I said, if you want more, if you want to understand how to get to the Sabbath, right? Then click the link in the description. Join the Cycle Breaker Academy today. Because we didn't talk about the curses that comes if you don't observe the Sabbath. We're gonna go through a whole nother video because there's literally like a whole list. Like if I had a scroll, it would like be from floor to ceiling. Like there's a lot of curses that comes from not observing what the Lord told you to observe. So choose life or choose death. He who the Christ says is free indeed. So like, share, comment, subscribe. My prayer for y'all today is that you will find rest, you will find joy in the Lord, and you will figure out a way to observe the Sabbath so that you might be blessed. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Let's get it, gang. Sure, sure.